Welcome to another episode of the Neoliberal Round podcast. I'm Ronaldo McKenzie. This is season 5, episode 1. Yes, the first episode in what's going to be a 2 or a 3-part series entitled The Launch of the Sentencing Foundation, featuring Suavo Gonzales. Well, it is the launch of the Sentencing Foundation, and this particular episode features Suavo Gonzales, the 2021 Pulitzer Prize podcast winner, who we see in the background with with the executive director of the Sentencing Foundation. But Suavo Gonzales was at the launch of the Sentencing Foundation, and we were at the launch of the Sentencing Foundation yesterday, and we were able to interview several professionals, members of the people of the judiciary, legal people, attorneys, lawyers, prosecutors, professional business people, so on and so forth, ex-offenders with powerful stories. And Suavo Gonzales was one of them, and he has a very powerful story. And we're going to begin this episode with his personal testimony, or his powerful story. And after that, we will get into the episode looking at looking at the directors and members of the Sentencing Foundation, talking about this particular event and the importance of the Sentencing Foundation and what they are about. But this particular gentleman, Mr. Suavo Gonzales, he had a very powerful story, because he's an ex-offender, and he's still on parole, on a lifetime parole. But this gentleman is doing powerful. He's doing a lot to empower community, to empower ex or past offenders. Let's listen in on this particular story, on the testimony by this gentleman.
Nothing shy about you.
My name is Suavo Gonzales. It's a unique name. Can't forget it. I don't know where else you start.
At the beginning.
Explain why you have a Superman painted on.
Yeah, I was going to.
That's all good. I'm going to start at the beginning. My name is Suavo Gonzales, and I was 16 years old when I stood in front of a judge, and I was sentenced to life in prison without parole. Life without parole. At the age of 16, IQ of 56, didn't know how to read or write. I ended up in Gravesend prison because I played by the code of the streets, and I didn't want to snitch on somebody, so they gave me a case. And I went to prison. I spent 7 years in solitary confinement, taught myself how to read, wrote 5 books. Ghost wrote about 15 books from a couple of writers. Got my GED, got my associate's degree, bachelor's degree from Villanova. Got out the hole, solitary confinement. I said, you know what, I want to do something with my life. Even if I'm in prison serving life, I want to be a decent human being. So I started a scholarship that we raised thousands and thousands of dollars from inside the prison to give scholarships to children from the incarcerated. And people was like kind of laughing at me. Why are you doing this? You never going home. And I'm like, I just want to be prepared in case one day the law changed. I'll be prepared. In 2012, Supreme Court ruled that we cannot keep a juvenile in prison for life. So automatic, the city, 4BA, challenged it. We had to wait another 5 years. They made it retroactive. I came home November 20th, 2017. So I came home, and it was kind of hard for me because I had no resources, my family died, but I knew how to read and write. I knew how to tell a story. So I started researching about podcasts, news, and what it was. Somebody gave me a phone that I still got. And I do got an iPhone, so don't matter. But I was like, man, I could use this phone to really inspire people. So I decided that I wanted to create a podcast. And I created my own podcast, just telling my story. It took me about 2 years to get it, because I ain't no technology. So we released it, and it debuted to about 1.8 million downloads. First episode. So I was like, what does that mean? I don't know. So I'm still researching. Next thing you know, we get a phone call from the International Documentary Award, which is like the IDA, it's like the podcast, it's like the Oscars of podcasts. Only 2 people in Philadelphia won it, myself and Preston. So, and I was like, I'm not really chasing no awards, I'm kind of shy. So, the podcast just took a life of its own, and in May, I get a phone call. I left my job at community college, and I see the president coming to the office, and I was like, I'm fired. Anytime the president of the school goes to your office, it's like, you did something wrong. So I was like, what did I do wrong? I'm going through the process. And he's like, did you see CNN? Yeah, I was like, what happened? I know I ain't do nothing wrong to be on CNN. He said, no, you just won the Pulitzer Award. I was like, huh? Yeah. You clap for that? Now, I had to research it, and I was like, wow. So a couple of weeks ago, I walked to New York, Columbia University, to accept. And it was funny because my name is like, sounds like Suavo. Who named their kid Suavo? Well, my mom did. So I get up there, and my question was to the president of Columbia University, you need to tell me this since 1917 when these awards was established, nobody incarcerated was able to win this award to that. And he just looked at me, he said, what do you mean? I said, I think Mandela had that's one of the books that inspired me. He should have got it. But I'm honored to be the first formerly incarcerated person to ever win that Pulitzer Award. Because it shows transformation. It shows that we are more than our worst mistake. It shows that we belong. And it's easy to forget today that I spent 31 years in a prison cell. Because I get to travel, I get to talk to the governor of California, got a couple of people to come home. But at the end of the day, I'm in Philadelphia, which a lot of work still needs to be done. And if anybody knows anything about parole and probation in Philadelphia, we have probably 275,000 ex-offenders in this city alone. But the thing that we have in this city is that other cities don't have is voting power. I'm going to say that again, voting power. I was able to vote 30 days after I came home. And I wondered, like, if we had somebody that had resources for us, how smooth that transition would have been. Because it wasn't easy for me. I went back to prison a year to the day I was home. They just took me back for something I didn't do. The lucky part for me was that I was working at the 25th district, so they had cameras. I was like, I had to get the cameras to the door. And it took 3 months to do that. Wow. So, not too long ago, I get a phone call from my friend Cynthia. She's here. She said, the judge wanted me, you gotta go see the judge. I was like, judge? I said, last time I saw a judge, it wasn't good. It wasn't good. So she's like, no, you gotta go see the judge. And I was like, oh, God. I'm all types of crazy stuff going to my mind. What the hell y'all gonna tell the judge? So, same way you research, research out. You gotta understand, I'm in media, I do media, so I research, I was like, oh, this is kind of fly. So I go in there, and I was blown away by what I saw. I sat in the courtroom first, and watched it go away. I was like, oh, man, I shouldn't have sat in front of her when they brought me in. But the bottom line is that we need people that understand the people where we come from. I don't come from the suburbs, I come from North Philadelphia. Athan Butler. If anybody know anything about Athan Butler, then, that's where I come from. So, for me to be involved in doing this work, because today I am the support coach overseer of the Iron More program at community college. What that means is anybody that's coming home that's been impacted by the system, they can come to me and I will get them in college. Guaranteed. Guaranteed. That's what we do. That's what we do. That's my job. Almost. I ain't gonna say that. So, I was just having a conversation with the judge, and everybody like, y'all better listen to that interview we just did. It dropped last night. It's on Apple. Death by incarceration. Look it up. And I was just telling her, like, we not only changing life, we are contributing to the public safety of the city. When we give people opportunities to have a better life, that's what we get. You know, and for me, I know how it is, because I'm still on lifetime parole. I'll say that again. I'm still on lifetime parole. If I spit on the floor and hit your shoes and you be like, oh, you spit on my shoe, you can get me locked up. So, exactly. I was taken back to prison because my ex-wife said she saw me in Delaware and I was at the 25th district. That was like the only time that I said, oh my God, I love the police. Because they had that ticket. But it's that easy. And I was trying to tell parole, like, yo, I wasn't there, I was there. Well, you don't want to hear it, you did it because your past. I was like, oh. That was my first arrest, what past? It was like, you was in prison for this. I was so traumatized that I thought to commit suicide when I went back. Because I came home and I was doing everything that they asked me to do. It's okay, bro. So for me, doing this work is personal. And I ask everybody that's watching live on Facebook, we need to support her. And when I mean support, I mean support. The same way we support all the name brands and all the rappers, we need to support the people that's taking care of our people and our community. Because if we don't, it could be your son, it could be your daughter ending up in prison. And if you're thinking that I committed a crime, you're wrong. I went to prison because I didn't want to snitch on somebody else. And 31 years later, they found the statement that the police identified somebody else.
Podcast, and that we just saw there, we just spoke powerful story. We'll be right back after the messages. That was Suavo Gonzales yesterday, and that was quite indeed a powerful story. Welcome back. And again, this is season 5, episode 1. And this episode is part of a 2 to 3 part series that we're doing on the Sentencing Foundation that just completed their launch of their website, www.thesentencingfoundation.org. And I have a question for you, and let me see if you are listening to Suavo closely. And we have a poll that's going on the Spotify platform and several other platforms. The question is, how many ex-offenders are there in Philadelphia alone? How many ex-offenders are there in Philadelphia alone? And we have several choices you can choose between. Is it 20,000? Is it 30,000 or 300,000? Is it 1.5 million? Is it 275,000? Whichever the case, you have a choice. You can participate by going on the community page. Now, most of the offenders, most of these ex-offenders are black and brown peoples from communities ravished by poverty, low incomes, and rising crime and violence. And of course, we talk about relative depravity. And relative depravity the theory suggests that where there is high income inequality and poverty, there's high crime and violence. Now, in retrospect, we did a podcast series on what's life like living in Philadelphia, where many people suggested that a fathers movement was needed, as younger men are beset by crime and violence and are without responsible fathers. However, many of the fathers are incarcerated, and the lack of resources for ex-offenders create further challenges in rehabilitating these offenders or ex-offenders, and the cycle of incarceration and lack of fathers continue. However, judges are coming together to help. Judges are coming together to help, not just locking up. They're not just locking up offenders, thinking about that, but they're as a way to solve some of the problems. But they realize that the problems go beyond that, and those create even further problems. So they're coming together and are creating a way, led by the Honorable Judge Stephanie M. Sawyer, who we had on this show, and we interviewed her some time ago, and we carried another show with her again, a retake of that show just featuring her talking about this particular launch and what judges are doing to create, to stem recidivism. And mass incarceration. But judges are coming together. They're coming together, not just locking up offenders, but creating a way that rehabilitates them, rehabilitates ex-offenders, so that these offenders can re-enter society with the necessary, having access to the necessary resources, so that they can provide for themselves, their families, and their communities. Now, Suavo Gonzales is a former inmate who is now on parole, lifetime parole, and he shared a powerful story earlier about how his placement on parole was not easy, but he was able to access resources through uncertainty, or despite the uncertainty, which has helped him to become an empowering figure to other parolees today. He's also a ghostwriter, having written several books, and he's a Pulitzer Prize winner of a successful podcast with a successful career at a community college. Suavo was at the web launch and made a vital comment about the importance of the foundation, and said that without opportunities, then these ex-offenders coming back into society, or people on a whole, without opportunities, they can't live responsible and effective lives, advancing society. Therefore, the foundation plays a pivotal role in raising awareness about mass incarceration and provide resources that help what is known as the resource-based sentencing and supervision program that they have. So they said, and you will hear, we're gonna play a video of the executive director and the operations director talking about the program and what it's about. But it provides logistic support to the resource-based sentencing and supervision, and that's another program that provides the resources to the ex-offenders. But there are limited resources, and there's so much that they can do, and they're realizing that the center is helping ex-offenders. So this particular sentencing foundation here was established or created to help to coordinate and to raise awareness about the resource-based sentencing and supervision, and to help to provide provide resources and to raise funding for resource-based sentencing and supervision. So it plays a pivotal role in raising awareness about mass incarceration. It provides resources that helps the RBSS, which provides resources to inmates, ex-offenders, and parolees. So now this series will feature one more powerful story from an ex-offender who is now running her own re-entry program in Philadelphia. We won't have it in this episode, but we will have it on the next episode, or the third one, probably the third episode. The next episode will be completely audio. This particular episode is in video and audio, and so we will have those coming up for you. in addition, the series will feature other interviews from judges, attorneys. I think we spoke with Brian F. Humble Esquire, who is a defense attorney, and we also spoke with Nicholas J. Renzi, which is another attorney. We spoke with several attorneys, several stakeholders, which is quite powerful. Now we want to listen to the director of operations and also the executive director, who spoke about the foundation and talked about the logistics of it, the operations of it, so on, and more information that they have. So we will have that recording for you just now. Let's bring it up in a second if I could get to it. Let's begin with the executive director of the Sentencing Foundation. Here she is speaking yesterday evening.
And I work for the First Judicial District as the first Chief Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Officer in the United States in court. So this is where I met the beautiful Judge Sawyer, and I met some awesome judges that are here today. And so with my specialty in human resources, labor and employment, diversity, equity, and inclusion, I always wanted to, I was really interested to see how the courts function. And I wanted to see how judges in particular manage, the individuals that walk into the courtroom. So I would literally sit in the courts all day, and I would sit, before I got to know Judge Sawyer good, I sat in her courtroom. And I noticed how she interacted with the litigants that was before her. She would take the time and she would kind of talk to them like she knew them. Almost like somebody's auntie. Now, what you doing in here? And she would talk to them, and I saw how the litigants would respond to her. They started listening, and they started telling, not I would say a story, but they started telling their story. And she would take that into consideration. And when I saw that, as far as through the lens of diversity, equity, inclusion, and belonging, I really saw that. And I said, in the United States would obviously have to look at the case law and look at the laws, but also look at the person and look at who's standing in front of them. So that is why I am excited to be a part of this wonderful nonprofit. And I wanted to just stop talking because I can talk. And I wanted to announce this another beautiful young woman. Her name is Shonda O'Dennis. Shonda is our director of operations, and she is the backbone. So I wanted to bring Miss Shonda up here, and she's going to talk a little bit. Thank you, Miss Shonda. Oh, that was pretty warm. Welcome. How are you? Welcome. And my feet hurt. Yeah. So, my name is Shonda O'Dennis. I am part of the Sentencing Foundation. I work with all of the folks that are part of the Sentencing Foundation to make this work done. It's nice to see some familiar faces again. For the new faces, welcome. So the Sentencing Foundation is a resource-based sentencing. So basically, for those of you all that do not, and probably most of you all know, that's why you're here. Basically, instead of just using legislation and sentencing and incarceration for people that have offended, it really focuses on, as Shaka said, the whole person and what is really the reason for the offense and how can we work to get people out of the pipeline in the system. So once we find out what it is that is the issue, that's connected with some resources, so maybe we can help to remedy these situations without going to jail and things of this nature. So that is, in a nutshell, what the Sentencing Foundation is. I'm so glad that all of you all are here to support us in this initiative, in us coming up with this, and in us launching our website. So you all know that you're here tonight for our website launch. You all know that?
Yeah.
Okay. So our website just went live opportunity to check it out, please do. It is www.thesentencingfoundation.org. Check it out, please do. It is clean, it looks good, it tells you all about who we are, what we do. It tells you about the individual folks that we are and our contributions and why we are here supporting this. And it also, I won't say most importantly, but I'm just letting you know, it has a donate now button. It has a donate now button. Please feel free to click that button and donate now.
So can I say something real quick? So I say something, these are my cousins, I know they're my cousins. Okay, so again, I'm from Georgia, y'all, so I'm related to everybody. I'm sorry, I'm two kids. Okay. So I'm gonna teach you a word, right? That we use in the South. Jingles. So we want some jingles, not necessarily money, but we want some jingles. I know the jingles sound like they make some noises, but that's what I say. Okay, these are jingles, all right? All right. You good.
What she said. So, yes, I want to thank all of you all for coming. Judge Sawyer has done so much beautiful work, and all of us have done so much work to get this to be a part. Here is the website. Thank you for bringing this up. Oh, that's great. That was clutch. Okay. So, yes, this is the website. It's clean. It has a question. So, if you have any questions, please feel free to click it. It does go to someone. How do I know? Because I'm an operations director. And I email. So, it absolutely goes to someone. They do respond to you in less than 24 hours. So, if you have a question, it goes straight to the person. And as you can see at the bottom, it does have a donate now button. Again, and as Shaka said, we want jingles. It does, if you go back up to the top, it has the judges that are a part of this and what it is that we offer the judges and how they can be a part and how it works for the judges, okay? It has the reform, what we're about, the resources, it talks about the resources. So actually, I'm one of the resources. I became a part of this because I am, in addition to other things, I'm a certified life coach. And the judge has referred some folks to me as a part of, hey, I don't know what's going on, I don't know what I'm doing, and so forth and so. Well, hey, listen, I have someone you can talk to that can maybe help you along, get some things squared out for you. So, the resources, and there are a lot of other resources here tonight. I know I've met them, so please feel free to mingle with folks and get to know, who's in the room and things of that nature. It has the about us, so it gives you who we are and what we're about, and then it has the bios of all of the folks that are on the board and Judge Sawyer. So please check it out. Please, we did a lot of work on this. We're doing a lot of work, and we will be doing a lot of great work in the future. So thank you all for coming so much. We do appreciate you taking your time. We appreciate you being here and everything that you do to support us. Thank you, Judge.
That was the operations director at the Sentencing Foundation launch yesterday. And I just want to reiterate here that it is important to point out, in relation to Suavo's statement about providing opportunity and its lack in society, equal opportunity is an affront to inequality and advantage or gains that some people have and want to maintain. So, if providing opportunities means others will come up, then those who are ahead, which is the case in society, may be suspicious of the competition from the uprising, based in opportunity and equal access, and may be slow to provide any opportunity, and or may prefer to limit opportunity. So the question is, it will be interesting to follow how this effort will take shape and form, and whether it will find support in other communities nationwide. And as I wrap up this episode, just want to remind you that this episode is available anywhere you get your podcast stream, including Anchor.fm. And if you want to see this episode in video, it's available on Spotify, the name will go around, Apple Podcast, Amazon Music, Radio Public, Google Podcast, Podvine, The Audible, iHeartRadio, the Alexa app, of course, and our website, RonaldoCMcKenzie.com and theneoliberal.com. Just so you know, you can support us by going to anchor.fm/theneoliberal/support, and you can also subscribe on any stream. Just to remind you that I am the author of Neoliberalism, Globalization, Income Inequality, Poverty and Resistance, which is an academic book and not a non-fiction book, which is available in all platforms worldwide and was number 1 on Amazon in deconstructivist history and philosophy. Now, just so you know, I have another book coming out towards the beginning of next year. It's entitled Neoliberal Globalization Reconsidered. So you got to check that book out. That book is provocative. It's critical. It continues to deconstruct history and critiques and revisits philosophical principles. But it is deep and also forms the part of a wider dissertation that I am working on. So check that out. Of course, you can visit us at www.theneoliberal.com, and I should be back at JTS, Jamaica Theological Seminary, lecturing Caribbean thought as I did before. I'm looking forward to that. Looking forward to some of the new ideas and new concepts and the ways in which people continue to think about concepts in the world from a Caribbean diaspora, so on and so forth. This is the Neoliberal Podcast. Walk good.